Welcome to all those who are interested in the Bachelor of Architecture in Politecnico di Torino. My name is Michela Barosio and I'm going to give you a brief overview about the study program. I will present you the supervisor, the structure of the path, the professional outcomes, then the possibilities in further architectural education, the strength point of the program, and then the online teaching presently ongoing. So, here you can meet the supervisor, Massimiliano Lo Turco. He's a drawing and survey professor, and he is the supervisor both of the program in Italian and in English. So you have his email address in this slide, and you can contact him if you want any further information. The program aims to provide methodological knowledge in many different fields. So the program embeds architectural design, urban design, interior design, history of architecture, construction, restoration, structural engineer, and representation and survey at different scales. You can find more detailed information at the link that is displayed on this slide. We can have a look to the numbers of Politecnico di Torino. Politecnico di Torino is a big university enrolling more than 35,000 students, of course, if we consider both bachelor and masters, and the School of Architecture enroll more than 4,000 students, again comprising bachelor and master program. Last year, we had 720 applications for the Bachelor in Architecture, counting together the Italian path and the English path. But unfortunately, we only have 500 positions available. So, of course, there is an entrance test that you have to be successful to enter. I would like to point out that among those 500 available positions, 85 are this year reserved for extra EU applicants. So if you are a foreign student, you will be counted among those 85 reserved places for non-EU applicant. The location of the bachelor program is very beautiful location, is the main site of the Faculty of Architecture, the historical site in the Valentino Castle, just near the River Po. So we are very lucky. We are in a very beautiful building, but also in a very beautiful natural landscape, but very close to the city center and to the lively neighborhood of San Salvario, full of students and of life. So the location is really great location. Then speak a little bit more about the structure of the program. This bachelor program is focused on multidisciplinary education, and the method that we choose to transfer to you this multidisciplinary education is the method of a gradually raising complexity. This means that you will not be facing complexity from the beginning, but you will be educated to the complexity. So step by step, you will be educated, you will be trained to face the complexity of the project, of the architectural design process. The final goal is not only to give you a lot of technical knowledge, a lot of, how can I say, a lot of technical notions, but it's a more ambitious goal. We would like to implement the critical thinking and the multidisciplinary approach in our students so that they can then use this critical thinking in any field, and this will make them aware of the contemporary challenges and how to face the world in a broader way, not only looking at technical issues. The outcome of this study program is mainly the access to national and international master's program in architecture to become registered architect, but also in other fields as planning, urbanism, industrial design, civil engineer. So this kind of bachelor open up a lot of opportunities for a second step in educational path. So this is a scheme representing the structure, the organization of the bachelor. The bachelor is a 3 years bachelor. The first year is totally dedicated to what we call the instructions. So a sort of basic knowledge centered on the concept of space, time, and matter. You will attend disciplines such as mathematics, basic urbanism, the first architectural design studio, construction, history of the art. So the basic knowledge that you will need to build your competence in architectural field. Then the following 2 years are subdivided into 4 semesters, and each semester is focused on a specific topic, so that all the discipline taught in this semester will reason around this topic. The first semester, so the first semester of the second year, is dedicated to the site. So the architectural atelier will be run together with planning urbanism, so that students will have to design a topic at a territorial or urban level. The second semester will be dedicated to construction, so we will have subjects such as civil engineer, technical construction, building physics, and so on. Then the third year is a year dedicated to the link with the following step in your education. So the first semester is called Enquires, and it will deepen the subject that you have already studied in the first 2 years, but you will go in depth to better understand the complexity of those subjects. And the second semester is called Explorations, because it is dedicated to the disciplines that the student have not met yet, but those subjects are subjects in which the students can be interested for their future. So they have a first small meeting with those subjects to understand if they are interested in attending master courses in one or another direction. So what are the specific outcomes, the specific professional outcomes of this kind of bachelor? So first of all, the bachelor program provides the basic competencies in architectural design and in building construction and management. So it's very important. The bachelor in Politecnico di Torino has a very strong constructive side. So it's a bachelor with a strong ground, strong technical ground. Of course, the program meets the national requirements, the graduate in architecture in Italy have access to master program in architecture and civil engineer, according to the European legislation. So again, the technical character of the bachelor is pointed out. Then, in an Italian context, you have to know that graduated in architecture from a bachelor can register as junior architect, of course, after passing a national exam. So this is one more outcomes, of course, which is only for the Italian context, but it's interesting because after 3 years, you can have a first access to the professional. This title, the title of junior architect, is entitled to design simple buildings with standardized approaches, said the law. So, of course, he's not a full architect. He cannot design and be responsible for big architectural or urban program, but it is a first professional step, very important in a national context. To give you some numbers, 83% of graduated from the Bachelor program in architecture at Politecnico di Torino are attending a master degree. So the main outcome of the Bachelor is, of course, a master degree. But you also have to know that 71% of the graduated students who are not yet working, they are attending a university course or an internship. So a lot of opportunities are given to Bachelor in architecture. At Politecnico di Torino, we have a complete offers in architectural education. So starting from the Bachelor, that has two different paths, one in English and one in Italian. Then we have three different Masters of Science in Architecture, one focused on the sustainability, another one on the restoration, and a third one on design method and process. Then we have specializing master, postgraduate schools, and also 3 PhD in the area of architecture and urban planning. So a very interesting, complete offer if you want to stay at Politecnico di Torino. Then we can just point out the main strength point of this Bachelor. First of all, is a brand new program. It has been restarted in 2018, assuming the most updated professional requirement. Then you have to know, you already know probably, that it is an international program. It is fully run in English with a wide range of mobility opportunities. So during those 3 years, you have a lot of opportunities to have a semester in another country through the Erasmus project. So a great opportunity. Third point, you have quite a large freedom in personalizing the study program. Only the first year is built on totally compulsory subjects, but from the second year and even more the third year, you have to choose some of the subjects that you will be attending. To make you just an example, in the last semester of the third year, you will have to choose among 7 different design studios with more than 10 different disciplines involved in these ateliers. So really a wide range of choice that can fulfill all your desires and interests. You probably know that Politecnico di Torino has a great positioning in QS ranking by subject into 2020. So we have the 2nd place in Italy and we are at the 33rd place in the world. So a very good position. We are very proud of it. And of course, as our school has a very old tradition and a very strong feeling of belonging. So it's very nice to study in this kind of place and in this kind of climate. This is just a map, just to realize what I've just said. So the numbers of opportunities to attend a semester abroad is really important at Politecnico di Torino. If you want then to have a look to the kind of work that are produced in the design studio, in the atelier, in the bachelor's, but also in the master at Politecnico di Torino, you can have a look to this publication. This is the yearbook of the School of Architecture. It has been printed in a paper version, of course, but at the moment, if you are far from Italy, you can have a look through a website that give you access to all the publications. So you can see that every atelier run in Politecnico di Torino has a double page dedicated with work of the student and with a little text describing the program of the design studio and the method, and often also the site where the project have been designed. So here you can find the link to access this yearbook that also contains the final project of the master program. So you can really have an idea about the final level that you can reach through architectural education in Politecnico di Torino. This year, as you know, we are all involved in online teaching. So to better compare our method, to exchange our ideas, we decided to gather all our experiences into one website called Telearchitettura. You can see the link in the upper part of this slide. You can go on this site and make you a strong idea about our teachers, our program, and how we have faced this new challenge of coronavirus and of online teaching. But even before this experience of coronavirus, Politecnico di Torino decided to put online some teaching experience, or better, the presentation of some teaching experience. So you can have a look to many videos describing the atelier, the program of the atelier, the method of the design studio. So again, you have here 3 links where you can you can grasp some of the Politecnico teaching. I know that most of the new students, the future students, are very worried about what will happen next year. So, of course, for all those who cannot reach Torino, Politecnico di Torino will guarantee the access online to the whole teaching program. So, if you're worried about that, if you cannot be in Torino, in Italy, you can have access to all the teaching program of Politecnico di Torino online. But also, Politecnico di Torino will offer a blended way of teaching. So it means that for those who can reach Torino, they can have part of the lesson physically in physical classrooms. But all the subject will be taught both in presence and online. So don't worry. It doesn't matter what is your choice, what is your possibility. You will have access to teaching program in Politecnico di Torino next year anyway. Then, as I mentioned a few slides before, there is an entrance test to be admitted to the Bachelor in Architecture at Politecnico di Torino. And this year, the test will be locally organized. So, differently from the previous years, the test will not be national, but local. And it will be, of course, online accessible. We are preparing this test, so at the moment I cannot tell you the schedule of the test, I cannot tell you the precise date, but you will have all this information on time to register to this test. It will be a multiple choice test as usual, and it will it will contain questions about 5 main domains: a general culture, then logic problems, then history of the arts, some math and physics problems, and some drawing and representation questions. So, of course, is a very complete test, but I'm sure that most of the students that attended a good high school will be prepared to pass this test. You can have a look to this link to understand when the test will be set. At the moment, as you can see from this slide, there is no precise date, but if you go to this link, you can obtain more information and you can stay updated about the entrance.